Hey everybody, welcome back. So today I'm doing a very quick review of the new Scream Factory release of John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China. And here's the inside box with the slipcover. So as most of you know, I'm a huge John Carpenter fan, so pretty much any release of any John Carpenter film I am going to pick up. So the question is obviously for this one, because Big Trouble in Little China was already released, is how does it hold up to the older 20th Century Fox release from several years ago? Well, it's good news and bad news, and I shouldn't say bad. That's not technically bad, but anyway, I'll get right to it. Let's just get the bad out of the way first, and that is it doesn't have a new transfer. It's the same transfer that was on the older 20th Century Fox release. Now, that's obviously a contractual thing with 20th Century Fox, because I believe at this point all of the other releases that Scream Factory has put out from 20th Century Fox, unless 20th Century Fox did a new transfer, none of them have had new transfers. And the same thing is also going with the Sony releases as well that Scream Factory is putting out. Again, that's just a matter, that's up to the studios to decide that. Now, on the plus side, the transfer that 20th Century Fox did many years ago is still a good transfer, and it does still hold up today. I mean, even watching it the other night, I was actually still surprised by how good the film looked. The thing is, on this new release, Scream Factory has given it a much higher bit rate, so it's a very solid looking presentation. It does come with good audio. It has a 5.1 mix, a 4.0 mix, and a 2.0 stereo mix. I read one review where they kind of complained that the audio didn't sound as good. I couldn't tell, and I mean, again, I don't know what their setup is, and obviously none of you know what my setup is, but I mean, I do have a proper surround setup, so I mean, it sounded great to me. I didn't notice any differences between the old mix and the new mix. I mean, maybe some people can. I didn't. It sounded great to me. But again, it's also nothing new. It's also the same mix that was also on the old release. So again, as far as the technical aspects go, it's really not that much different than the previously released one was. And obviously where it does shine is in the extras. It ports over all the older extras that were on the prior release. And again, that was already a good special edition. But now they have brand new interviews. They have 2 new commentary tracks, one with Steve Johnson and one with producer Larry Franco. And then just a ton of new interviews, including a lot of the actors, including the great James Hong. So from that standpoint, the collector's edition aspect of it definitely lives up. So it does kind of come down to how do you feel about extras. First off, if you're a fan of the film, obviously getting all these new extras and getting a, maybe not technically new, but a solid presentation of the film to go along with it. Obviously, I think it's worth it. And I did get the bundle. So obviously it came with the Blu-ray release with this slipcover, and then obviously the poster of this, which I do actually love the image. And it came with this little box with the Pork Chop Express on it. And if you can see that on the side, it has 2 things in here. It has a small 45 LP and the Steelbook. So here's the Steelbook for Big Trouble in Little China. And some of you may be wondering, like, why even bother? Well, honestly, because at this point they've sort of put out steelbooks of all the other John Carpenter films, almost all the other John Carpenter films that they've released so far. I had to add one more to the collection, so the bundle made sense to me. I was probably going to get the bundle anyway because it's John Carpenter. And of course you have the LP. I hope you can see that on the back okay. So it has the Pork Chop Express, sort of the main theme, and then the Alley War music. And the album, as you can see here, is green. And that's not even a subtle green. That's like a pure, like, green, which is a very, very cool extra. And that's what it looks like with the 2 things inside, and then obviously then with the cover. Now, the only thing is, opening up this big box is you do kind of feel like it needs something else. Like, I kind of wish it had like a large, not necessarily a book, but maybe like a large booklet to kind of go along. Like, it just feels like it's missing something along that, even if it was only something that was like 4 pages, but maybe it had some pictures. Even if that's all it had was just some pictures, like, it kind of feels like it's missing something. So again, this is just a quick review because there's not too much to really go over. Again, it really just comes down to how much of a fan you are of the film itself. I mean, in my opinion, this is a no-brainer. Yes, I do wish it had a new transfer, but again, watching it, it's not like I was sitting there going like, oh man, this could look so much better. Honestly, at this point, the only way it could look better is if it had an actual 4K release. So until that happens, I was actually pleasantly surprised by how well the transfer still is. And as far as extras go, I mean, I can honestly say like this is really the ultimate edition for Big Trouble in Little China. I can't imagine anything else being added. I mean, obviously a new interview maybe with Kurt Russell or something would have been nice. There's so much on here and they talk to so many people, and porting over all the older stuff, including that commentary track with Kurt Russell and John Carpenter. I can't think of anything else you would want as far as extras go. So obviously if you're a fan of the film, this is pretty much a must-have. Now, if you're more of a casual fan, but you're still interested in it, you may want to look into maybe the older one because you probably get it pretty cheap, or just wait for a sale and pick up this one. I mean, I still think this is the way to go. I'm probably biased because it's John Carpenter and it is a good release. But if you already have the older release and maybe you're just not the diehard fan that I am, you know, I mean, maybe it's not something you kind of run out and get right away. Same thing with the Arrow RoboCop edition, which I still need to do a review on. So that's it for this video, just my 2 cents on the new Scream Factory release of Big Trouble in Little China. Let me know your thoughts, or if you're a fan of the film, or if you've already picked it up, and let me know what you think. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.